Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is very exciting because we're finally getting around to another lip swatch video, and it is a Colourpop one. I own a few Colourpop Lippie Stix already, but I actually haven't used them yet. And then I ordered this little thing. I say little. This you would have seen in one of my hauls is got a whole load of Lippie Stix in there, and we might as well just swatch them, play with them. There is 20 shades in here, so let's have fun. I feel like we should swatch. The lightest one is Little Things. Now they come in these little white tubes. They're Lippie Stix, so they're twistable. Ooh, this is just like your proper pink. Let me swatch this. I've got a gloss underneath, but this went on top of that gloss really smoothly. These are really nice. Like, it's swatch matte, but on my lips it's not. Oh, and this one actually says it's a cream, so we have different formulas in there. We've got like creams, we've got mattes, we've got satin. So yeah, there's a few different formulas. I'll try and remember to tell you them, but this Little Things is a nice subtle pink. I like it. Wish it was a little bit more mauve though. Love the cup it comes in, because the ones that I swatch I can put in here. I also have the lip liner one, so if you guys want me to do that one next, just let me know. So this shade here is Cookie. It's a nice pale nude. I always hear people talking about this shade. I always wondered about it, but it is like quite a pale nude, but I feel like I can pull it off. It's really nice. I didn't have much lip gloss underneath, and it still feels kind of, it's a matte formula. It did feel a bit more matte than the other one, but it didn't tug at my lips or anything. It looks really nice. This shade is called At Twilight. It's a cream. It's this shade here. It looks a little bit darker than Cookie, but I like this because it's got a different undertone to it. It's got more of a peachier undertone to it. I really like this shade. It's meant to be a cream formula as well. I just like how small they are, but you get quite a decent amount of product in them. Like, that is insane. This shade is Brink. Now it looks like this on my hand. It says it's a matte, but it's got a sheen to it compared to some of the other mattes. It looks really nice. It's like a dark, deeper pink colour. This is such a nice shade on my skin tone. I like this shade, I really do. It's like a reddy pink. They look so different to what the shade is on the bottom. Parker. Let's see what this one's like. See, again, it says it's a matte formula, but it's very creamy. This shade is Parker. It's this shade on the end here. It looks really good. It does look a bit more matte, yet when I've swatched it on my hand, it looks really shiny. So I don't know if it like dries down on your lips a little bit, but it's a really nice shade. It's a definite like reddy undertone pink again. It's very similar to the last shade we just swatched. Trying to do all the lighter colours. See, this is a nice shade on my hand, but like on my skin tone I'm not too keen on it. It's more of like a summer shade, I reckon, or a spring shade. This is the shade Topanga. It's a satin. Definitely does feel like semi-matte, semi-creamy. It's really nice, but it's definitely a summer or spring colour for me. This shade is called Cami. It's a darker like brownie shade on my hand, but it's got like hints of pink in it. It's really nice. It's a matte formula, but this was one of the creamiest Lippie Stix I've put on. I'm really confused because I haven't put any more lip balm on. I've literally just been wiping them off with a bit of cotton wool. That was very creamy. Like, watch. It's not tugging at all. I'm so confused how creamy that was, but yeah, it says a matte. I don't understand. I don't think they are what they say they are on the stick. These are really nice though. I love the packaging, very simple. When I first opened this box from Colourpop, it said primer, and I assumed that was just a colour. This is the first time I've opened it, and it's clear. So I've literally just put a bit of like foundation around my lips. It does feel nice though. We've got this shade here called Ziggy. This looks like a really nice me shade. Guys, this is a me shade. It's like a nice brown. It's a definite me shade. I really like it. It says it's a matte. I feel like this has gone on matte, but I don't know if that's to do with the primer or anything, but it's very comfortable. These have like 20K3 and 20K4 and 2013 numbers on it. Like, I don't know what the numbers mean, but this shade Ziggy is really nice. This shade Love Life is a matte, and it is a really matte shade. It is this shade right here. These are all the shades still if you want to have a quick pause. It was a really matte shade. Like, I can't feel that anything's on my lips, but I know there's something there, if that makes sense. Like, it's not as movable, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. It's a really nice brick shade. I love this shade. This is like definite autumn kind of shade. This is not a colour for me. This is the shade Casanova. It's a cream. Definitely feels creamy when you put it on, but it's just not. It's a proper bubblegum Barbie shade, and it is a nice shade to put on, but it's not. Yeah, it's just not me. This is something that I'll either pass along to someone or give to my little sister probably. This shade is Chi Chi. I've heard a lot of things about this shade. It's a matte, it's bright orange. I feel like I have a Beauty Bay lipstick or lip liner that would suit this, or like similar to this. Again, it's not a me shade, it's a summer shade, but it might be good in a monochromatic look, maybe even that pink, but that pink did just seem a little bit too childlike for me. But again, yeah, it kind of matches the jumper a bit, but it just doesn't go with this whole look. I feel like with this shade I'd need a little bit more of a tan. I feel like it's making me even more pale, but it is a nice shade. It's just not a me shade, and I hear people talk about this shade Chi Chi quite a lot, to be fair. See, this is more like it. This is more like a toned down pink compared to that really bright one that we tried here. It's got a similar undertone to it, but it's very toned down. I can see myself wearing this with a really dark brown lip liner. This is the shade Songbird. It's a matte, but this one went on creamy, but now has that matte feeling to it, which is weird. The primer, I need to use that primer again. I feel like that primer will lock in the lipstick a little bit. I'm in love with this shade. This shade would go well with like a nice pink or red eye look. Now we've got the shade I Heart This. This is again a matte. It's very in between those other two pink shades. It's not as bright as the, what was it, Casanova shade, but it's not as dark as Songbird. So it's quite in the middle, this shade of pink. But again, I would wear this pink. It's nice. It's gone matte again. It would look great with, like, even this eyeshadow look, it goes great with it. I'm really loving some of these pinks, and pinks are not my favourite. Okay, this shade is the shade Trust Me. It is kind of, it's a matte, but it's kind of like a nice red. It's getting into the reds. It's not too dark, not too light. I like this shade of red. It's got a pink undertone, so it's not making my teeth look that white. But yeah, it's kind of, I think my dog's farted. Whoa. It's got a nice shade to it, but it's just not one of those ones that make your teeth look white, or it kind of makes your teeth look a bit yellow. But I like this shade. This again is the shade Trust Me. Guys, this shade Goldie is a perfect dark red. It's this shade on the end up here. It's literally dried down to the point where it doesn't feel like there's a colour on your lips. I keep looking at my mirror, I'm so sorry. It's still a bit creamy, but at the same time it's not drying. So what I feel like with the matte is that when you put them on, they actually dry down, which is weird because I can actually feel like it's drying right now on my lips. Like I can feel it drying into them, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. This shade is really nice as well. It's a deep red, and I love these deep reds. The brownier tones, the better. So this shade is called Bitchet, and it's a really berry toned colour. I like it. I like all of these except for maybe, what was it, Casanova. This is, I did put some balm under, so it's got a bit shinier, but it is a matte formula. I feel like this one would have like dried down a bit, but it's a very autumnal shade. I really do like autumnal shades. Like every kind of season I like a shade, and this shade I feel like I'm going to be wearing a lot now that I've got this, and it's called Bitchet. Like, come on. who's the bitchiest person around? Like, obviously got to be me. So I feel like this shade really suits me. This shade is 1000%. It's this shade here. It is more like a deep brown shade. I did keep the last shade underneath. I literally just blotted it dry. I didn't even like wipe it off because my lips are hurting. So it has got like a kind of pink berry around it, but the inner portion of it, which is the dark brown, is the shade that it is, and I really do like this shade. Okay, this last shade is Infinite Best. It's a matte again. It's not looking as brown as it does on my hand here, just because there's still a bit of balm underneath and still a bit of the last reddy shade underneath as well, the berry shade. But this is a lovely shade, definitely winter autumn shade. I'd say even more winter than autumn. It makes my teeth look a bit more whiter than they do. It's a really nice shade. I really like this shade. And you know what? We have swatched all of them. And I'm in love with all of these lipsticks. I'm in love with the case. The price must have been worth it because I bought it. I feel like the price would have been around... If I bought both sets for like 80 quid, then that must have been... They're probably around 40-ish each. I think the Lippie Stix was a bit more because there's more in there. But... these, I really like the Lippie Stix, and do you know what? If you found a shade you like, do an order. You only have to order if you're in the UK, $60 worth. You get custom on $15, which would be like $15, so it'll come to like 70 quid for whatever you want, and that's what I do. I just spend about 70 quid and get a few items, and it's really worth the money. These are really nice, they're very comfortable, and I hope you enjoyed the lip swatches. I do love a good lip swatch video, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.